world surrounded by franchises, reboots, and shared universes. An elite team of podcasters will risk body and soul to investigate the depths of intellectual properties, one multiverse, subgenre, and trend at a time. Who are we? We're the IP Squad.
Welcome back to the IP Squad and our ongoing investigation into films based on video games. I'm John Campbell, my partner for this part of the investigation, Michael Lissman.
Hello, everybody.
Lissman, this was one that I think I had you down for maybe first of any of these.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we, for years, have been big Resident Evil fans.
Yeah, we're not like the memorize all the lore of every game and like
it's an example of to quote the fellows over at James Bonding, we're lovers, not experts.
Yes, there we go. Oh, I love that.
That's always their thing about when people they don't know all the history of James Bond, they just love him.
Yeah.
So we're talking about now. There was a lot of debate early on in this season about whether or not we would cover any of the Resident Evil movies because there's obviously a lot of them.
Yes.
So the thing about that we decided to do is to save the Paul W.S. Anderson, Mila Jovovich starring ones and do that as its own season because there's like 6 or 7 of those movies.
And John, whenever you do those, just keep in mind I am busy.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me just say, I'm in no hurry to do that.
Yeah,
let's say that's a potential season.
Yeah.
But what was suggested by one of our fellow IP Squad investigators, Elliot Lewis, was that we should cover Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
This is a nice capitulation of not doing any of those other films. Let's do this one because this is way more grounded in the like actual mythos of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, the Anderson movies are loosely inspired by, but not really attempting to adapt any of the games. I can't say I've seen all of them.
Yeah,
but the ones I've seen are going for the kind of vibe of Resident Evil, but not necessarily.
I don't even know if they're going for the vibe of it. You know what I mean?
Like maybe the aesthetics.
It feels like ChatGPT wrote a Resident Evil franchise. You know what I mean? Like everything's kind of blended together in one giant nonsensical story.
I mean, I never watched them, or I stopped watching them at a certain point because I was just like, oh, I don't think these are for me.
Yeah.
And I love the games.
Yes.
But so anyway, this one, definitely, it felt like a lot of the promotion for this movie from 2021, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, felt like a lot of this was, and a lot of the press for it, and reading interviews again with the director and comments he made about this was all about returning to the source material, really getting back to the games.
And that's one positive thing I can say about this is that they did do that. It is clear the filmmakers have played the games and have a fondness for them.
Yes.
That's clear.
No question that you can definitely feel that attitude of trying to veer things back towards the game. The only problem I would say is that they still didn't write a great script.
No, a terrible script.
And this is all both written and directed by Johannes Roberts.
Yes.
Or Johannes, I don't know exactly. Johannes Roberts, who comes from the horror world, which I guess makes sense. But he worked on if you've seen the 47 Meters Down movies, he also directed The Strangers Prey at Night, which is the second Strangers movie.
It is interesting that it does come from the world of horror because this movie's not scary. At all. At no point was I scared.
I would say that the Strangers sequels and the 47 Meters Down movies are not super well respected horror. Once again, if you're a fan of them, I apologize for that. But at least from my perspective I don't think this guy directs like grade A horror.
Yeah, things that are even like setting aside like financial successes.
Yeah.
He's not even making stuff that is received critically very well at all.
No, I don't. And just in general, I don't know that. I mean, I think those have their fans, but like, I've never heard anybody talk about. You know what's great are those 47 Meters Down movies.
John, I never even heard of those.
I will say that we may talk about them in a future season because I do want to do shark franchises, plural.
Oh. Can I be on for Jaws, the first Jaws, and
sure, yeah.
for none of the other films?
You don't want to do
franchise?
like the third Deep Blue Sea movie?
You know what? I'll do the first Deep Blue Sea movie.
Yeah, Deep Blue.
I'm just choosing all the ones that are tolerable. Or
Deep
good.
as blue as my hat is like a shark's fin.
Yeah. Is that LL Cool J?
LL Cool J's theme song to Deep Blue Sea. Deep as blue as my hat is like a shark's fin. That's the real lyrics.
I wonder what that means.
I have no idea.
I want to see Cool J with a hat that has just a fin sticking.
Well, I will say, if you haven't seen the music video, he does turn into a CGI shark at the end of it, and it's kind of worth watching.
Okay, yeah.
I have an affinity for Deep Blue Sea, even though it's very stupid.
I do too. Again, that movie's stupid, but it's fun. It's a
very
fun movie. Yeah,
that's a fun ride. This movie
is not fun.
No, I'm trying to figure out. So beyond, we talked about the writing's a little weak here, but I also think there's a miscalculation in tone somewhere in this movie.
Yeah, it's very self-serious.
It's very serious,
Yeah.
and that was. It's so interesting. I want to read this quote from the director about his take, because this was after the 6th, I believe,
game
Resident Evil movie.
Okay.
It was sort of decided maybe we want to go in a new direction, right? And so,
which is good.
Yeah, so they wanted to do a reboot, and they initially brought in James Wan to produce. James Wan, of course, of the Saw franchise and the Conjuring movies and the Insidious, big-time horror filmmaker. And he was going to produce, and they commissioned a script.
Yeah.
And I was telling you about this. A guy named Greg Russo wrote a script that was primarily inspired by Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
And
which this was 20. Yeah, because I can't remember when Resident Evil 7 came out, but that lines up.
It would have been 2017.
2017.
It came out, and so it would have been like a brand new game when this guy was writing it.
And that makes sense because that was kind of a revitalization of the video game franchise at that point. Like it had kind of been spiraling for a bit, and then that just brought interest right.
Russo talked about wanting to create something that was scary, isolated, had feelings of loneliness.
Yes.
And apparently that was the producers were like, pass.
So the producers are who are responsible for this piece of shit, is what you're saying.
Here's what it said. The producer, they're unimpressed with the script, feeling the game was too recent and its potential failure could harm film sales. Seeking alternate story ideas, they proposed that the incorporation of one point at a time travel subplot, at which point Wan and Russo left the project.
That makes sense. I would do that too.
What about
time travel?
I like the idea that these guys come in, they go, we really want to make it more grounded and scary. And they're like, what about time travel? And they're like, goodbye.
Yep.
So that leads to, they bring in Johannes
They bring in a yes man.
They bring in Johannes Roberts. And this is a direct quote from Roberts. All right, and I just want to, because I'm going to read this, and I just want you to think about the movie we just watched.
Okay. Great.
What I loved about the games was that they were just scary, and that's a lot of what I wanted. That atmosphere. It's raining constantly. It's dark. It's scary. Raccoon City is a rotten character. I wanted to put it and mix it with the fun side, especially with the narrative style of the first game. We had a lot of fun. We even used the fixed angles that the first game has when the characters are at Spencer Mansion.
Yeah, that was certainly present.
One of the things I do think, and that's very indicative of what I see in this movie and listening to, he's very, very concerned with the aesthetics of Resident Evil.
Yes.
And he really does go out of his way to capture those aesthetics, whether that be the angles he's talking about here, or even something noted in the trivia is that they went to Capcom and got the 3D maps of all the games to match their sets to be, this is exactly like down to, the millimeter. Both the Raccoon City Police Department and Spencer Mansion are built exactly as they appear in the games.
Yes.
But it's a little bit, that's a little hollow though, right?
Yes it is.
You're like, that's great. And the characters for the most part look like the characters.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Claire's in the iconic red jacket and stuff like that. The RPD tack vests and stuff like that.
That all looks fine, yeah.
But it's all just like great. That to me is all window dressing.
Yes.
You could fail all that stuff, and I would let it slide more than this script being as weak as it is.
Yeah, they failed at the most important thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to screenwriting, to filmmaking.
Yeah.
Why do people forget that scripts are important?
Yeah. He said he took a lot of influence from John Carpenter,
Sure.
particularly Halloween, Assault on Precinct 13, and The Fog, which are all three much better movies than this. I see the elements of all three. Well,
Yeah.
less Halloween, but
Yeah, I don't
for
really
sure
see
Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog. The Fog has this kind of structure, but it works where it is like something happens to a town, and the movie kind of has no protagonist. I don't know if you've ever seen John Carpenter's
I haven't,
The Fog.
though.
The Fog is his ghost story movie,
Okay,
basically.
gotcha.
So it's cool because Elliot will always correct me on this, but because I say they're ghost pirates, they're not ghost pirates, but they appear pirate-like. But
Do they go Yar?
No, but they do have swords, and they're from that era.
Okay.
And so they come into town and start killing people. But the movie has like a town full of main characters
Yes.
and jumps around between all of
Yes.
them. So I see that's what this movie's trying to do. It's just that movie does it more successfully.
Yeah. I'll be interested to watch that and compare. I've been wanting to go through Carpenter's works. The films I've seen from him are great. I love it.
I mean,
But, yeah.
especially maybe his first like 6 or 7 are just all bangers.
Yeah,
You know, some of his later stuff he falls off a little bit, but early on he has a run that is enviable to any filmmaker.
Yeah.
And The Fog is, considered lesser by some. I really like The Fog. But I just think it's interesting that you're like, but he's not doing any of the work. And they talk about that the script for this thing was even more ambitious initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
They already fit 2 games into this one movie, John. Like what?
Well, they were going to include like every possible variant of mutant zombie in it originally. And basically it was just, we can't afford.
They're going to have the shark zombie from Resident Evil, or was it the shark in the first one and the alligator was in the second one? I can't remember.
I don't remember which one was which, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, according to IMDb here, I don't know how this is possible. There was more CGI-heavy monsters and even more characters from the game. This is a condensed version of what he was trying to do.
John, that's crazy. There's so many characters. There's so much bad CG. And that's the other thing. Don't have more CG monsters in there. What you have is bad.
Mm-hmm. So according to some of the cuts and changes were made so late that most of the concept work was finished. So the apparently originally is included hunters, chimeras, crimson heads, pale heads, giant spiders, Neptune, the giant shark you mentioned,
yes,
and Tyrant, aka Mr. X, was in the original.
I was wondering if he was going to show up. Yeah.
So I mean, but this was a $25 million movie.
Okay. Yes.
So they were basically just like, you can't afford any.
You can't do any of that. They couldn't really do what they did. Really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the sets look great, but yeah, the CG was really bad. It was really bad.
And they had to. I mean, basically, it sounds like this movie is compromised, but still is all over the place. I think that's interesting. Because, yeah, they had to cut whole action sequences and stuff. Man, it's crazy, and so much got streamlined as a result of that, which I think is some of the stuff we reacted to.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea about basing the Redfields in Raccoon City and being connected to the Umbrella Corporation, raised in an Umbrella orphanage,
which could be interesting, but it didn't really pay off.
No, that's kind of the problem with it, right? It's this weird thing where it wants to be very true to the games in some places, but then veers in ways that but now it doesn't work.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the live action Disney movies. Like a lot of them are so similar shot for shot, but then they'll make just the weirdest change that completely undermines the whole point of the film.
I mean, it takes me back to some of the earlier comic book movies too, where you're just like, but why did you?
Yeah, I'd say the difference between this and that is that clearly there is a love and respect for the original source.
And like I'm willing to give him the tiniest bit of leeway that this budget got slashed to ribbons.
Sure.
But
we talk all the time. You got to write to your budget.
Yeah.
You have to.
We were talking about, especially if the budget got slashed, what I would have done. And once again, I always hate being that guy who's like, now here's how I would have done it.
Yeah.
But in that
because they're lining up to have us, write the next.
I know it is always that shitty thing. And I do get upset with people where it's like, let me tell you what my Batman movie would be. And I could tell you what my Batman movie would be, but I'll spare you.
Yes. That's another episode.
Yeah. Although it doesn't look that dissimilar to what Matt Reeves did. That's as close as anyone's gotten to my Batman.
There you go.
But the thing about this, I was thinking, is if you really, because he kind of tries to condense it, and he even talks about this, where it's set between the mansion and the police station. We were talking about this. Pick one. I would have picked the police station.
Sure. Because again, we have more of a fondness for 2 as opposed to 1.
Well, and I think that's also just we haven't seen as much of that. The first Paul
Thomas Anderson.
It's so hard. It's so upsetting that there's 2 Paul Andersons. I did it before.
Can you imagine?
I think I said this on one of the other episodes where somebody slipped up saying that would be a fascinating movie. Like I would.
I don't know if it'd be good. Well,
I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be true to the games. But
no,
it would be interesting.
It would be interesting. It'd be good characters.
I know he is like a genre guy, and has talked about that people don't believe him when he says he wants to make like a comic book movie.
He should just do it.
I know. He keeps telling. He goes, nobody ever calls me about that. I'm not joking. I would love to make like a Batman movie or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fan of all that stuff. So I think it's interesting. But the thing about what I was saying about the Paul Anderson movies don't have as much of that vibe that the second game has.
Yes.
And the first one of his movies does kind of do the first game a little bit.
Yeah, it's the most similar.
Yeah. So I just think that would be your Assault on Precinct 13 siege movie with zombies.
Exactly.
That you could do sort of a Romero Carpenter mashup there.
And that allows you to just be in one, maybe 2 locations.
Right. And you could really, if you really built that set out like they're talking about doing, that could have been a cool movie.
And that also will showcase this like gorgeous set more.
Yeah.
It'll show off more of the set that you painstakingly built from the ground
interesting
up.
How little we actually see of either set for how much, aside from a couple establishing shots where you get some wides.
Yeah. Being like, ooh, can't you believe it? But yeah, they don't. Yeah, it doesn't. You don't feel that sort of like, oh my gosh, they actually really built it. You know what I mean?
No, and that's really interesting because that shit's expensive.
Yeah. Yes. That's where all the budget went.
Well, it didn't go to the CG, I'll tell you that.
No, it did not.
Oh boy,
no,
the CG is stinky.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah. So let's talk about and then comes the second big note, which is must you include every Resident Evil character in this thing?
Mean, every character from the first 2 to 3 games,
Pretty much, because we have both Redfields. We have Jill Valentine. We have Wesker. We have Leon. We eventually, in a post-credit scene, have Ada. Then we even have characters like Birkin, the Neil McDonough scientist, and his daughter Sherry, who's part of the games.
Yes.
And even things like Vickers, who's on the STARS team. And dies. But and even the guy that they find with his throat cut is a guy from the games who's part of the STARS team. I don't know if Chief Irons is part of it. I think
he is. He is, yes. But he goes crazy in the games, I think.
I will say right off the bat, the biggest surprise to me is how big a part Donald Logue has.
We kept expecting him to die immediately.
And I'm not saying I love Donald Logue. I think he's an amazing actor.
Sure. But it's just like the character himself wasn't adding anything to the narrative, so you're like, it felt like they were setting him up to die.
Well, and there were 3 separate scenes where it's like, now he's gonna, he's still alive.
Okay, he's still alive. Okay,
shit, man.
And then when he actually died, we forgot.
Yeah,
we're like, what happened to that guy?
They kept building up his potential death, and then it happens, and you're like, it made very little impact on us. Obviously. It's so strange that that's the case. Anyway, okay, so the movie starts in this flashback to the Redfields in an Umbrella Corporation orphanage.
Yes.
And there's creepy things about.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Because now Claire is returning to returning to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Because she's received this tape from a guy who is fairly ill-defined.
He's a scientist who works for Umbrella.
Ben Bertolucci is the character's name.
which may or may not be. I'm assuming he's a character.
I think everyone is a character.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that they've pulled every name from the sound of it from the games, even if it's like people referenced in the files that you find.
Right. Yeah.
He sent this thing, and he doesn't say there are zombies about it. He just says that Umbrella is poisoning the town.
Yes. It's a very, very much a Flint, Michigan kind of like.
Yeah, he compares it to Chernobyl as
well.
Chernobyl,
yeah.
It's going to be real bad.
And there could be something interesting about like the illegality, the moral conundrum of corporate towns, which isn't really a thing anymore, but certainly was a while ago, and is something that a lot of large corporations, wouldn't mind bringing back. Like having company script and like all that kind of stuff.
And that would give the movie something to say.
Right. Exactly.
Instead, it's just, Umbrella's an evil corporation, but this movie doesn't have anything to say about corporations other than just that one's bad.
That one's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
And you also don't really get a good sense of what Umbrella is in this movie. No, it's kind of like a faceless sort of like. Obviously, Neil McDonough.
Back. This is the second time even you and I have talked about him on the show.
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
he's better in this than he was in.
He is better. Yeah, that is true. He is better.
But that man? I was saying this to you. I don't think he says no to anything.
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah.
This guy's in Captain America and The Legend of Chun-Li. I'm just saying, if that doesn't. If that alone, he's in a Star Trek film and he's in this, it's
he'll just kind of be in whatever.
Yeah, this guy's in Minority Report. Like he's got so many great credits and then a bunch of trash too.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I will say across the board, I think pretty much everyone in this movie I have seen be good in things.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I don't think anyone is bad in the movie. I think we'll talk about Tom Hopper as Wesker. It's not that he's bad.
He's just poorly cast
and very poorly written.
Yes, maybe the worst written character.
Wesker makes no sense.
No, and there's no logic. How he behaves in one scene will completely change by the next scene,
and he's just kind of like non-committal
to anything.
Yeah,
like he betrays everyone out of like inconvenience. Like he's just like, I guess I'll go this way.
So in Raccoon City we have the Raccoon Police Department, which appears to just be Leon.
Yes.
In terms of officers, it's run by Chief Irons, who also though is overseeing the STARS team.
Yes.
Which is
like a SWAT sort of like highly trained paramilitary sort of wing of the Raccoon Police Department.
And you have to kind of put that together yourself, though, in this movie.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about the games, you wouldn't even know that the team is called STARS.
When we're initially introduced to Chris, he's wearing an RPD shirt, and we were like, that's weird.
Yeah, right.
But then he goes to work and puts on the STARS uniform.
Yes.
Which the only way you would know it's called STARS is, I think it's just on the patch.
It's just on the patch, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and you're just like, so immediately, once again, this movie is, I would say, incomprehensible if you don't know the games.
Yes. I'm glad to, be able to contribute, my limited amount of knowledge, but I would be so curious to hear what somebody thought. I mean, I guess I know what somebody would think.
Yeah.
Which is none of this makes sense. What is even happening?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the reviews, there's a lot of just like, a lot of people writing these reviews do know something of the games enough to know that they're talking about like, it's just
hard to follow.
Yeah, they're right. They're just talking about like, AV Club says it's a reboot totally bereft of visual distinction or creative personality that often made its predecessors intrigue. Oh, they like those though, intriguing diamonds in the rough. At the very least, those did have a vibe, and it was a consistent style. I don't like that style,
and I think it's wrong. But it is a take. Yeah, this is just.
And I also see a lot of reviews. They're just like, I don't know, maybe if you like the games, but and no. Actually, the Variety review I think is the snippet I'll read that I think comes closest to what we said, which is the film. In any decade, the film's bevy of unexplained details, dropped subplots, paper-thin characterizations, and fright-free mayhem would disappoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that, yes.
It is just such an empty shell of a movie.
Yes.
That's my biggest problem with it, is you're like, you're being really faithful to all surface level stuff,
but for no reason, to no end,
to nothing,
nothing. Yeah,
and this was, of course, really meant to kick off a franchise.
Of course.
And you can feel that. You can feel all the threads of like, don't worry, we'll explain that next time. Don't worry when we have more money in the sequel.
Yeah.
And I hate that feeling. I hate that watching a movie.
Just make a movie good.
Yeah.
And then if it's good, make more.
Yeah, it's really it's a huge bummer to sit through. It's short enough. What does it clock in? About an hour
40?
Yeah, hour 47 with credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so I mean it's brisk enough, but the problem is that it's too brisk in places.
Well, it wouldn't feel that way again if it wasn't overstuffed with characters and plot points.
Yeah, it is just like I said, if you don't know these characters, like, why would you ever give a shit about Jill Valentine?
You have no reason to in this film.
Which is so interesting, actually, and I don't always want to just compare stuff, but it's really interesting that Hannah John Kamen was also just in Thunderbolts, which I don't know if you saw Thunderbolts.
Not yet. When it comes out on Disney Plus, I'm going to watch it.
I think you'll really like it, but that's a movie that juggles having like 7 protagonists really, really well.
Well, yeah, but aren't they always like together and communicating with each other? Yeah, exactly.
They're a team. It has one.
They're not by themselves in.
No, it has one central story, and everything is moving towards a singular.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, John. That is how a movie should be structured.
If you could, I think there's a world where you could have all these characters in this movie if they all ended up at the police station.
Yes.
And they became, because I mean that's a zombie movie trope, right? Everyone ends up at the mall in Dawn of the Dead, right? Everyone ends up at the military base in Day of the Dead, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My point is just go watch any Romero movie.
Yeah,
and I was talking to you about, there is a documentary I saw a trailer for that's going to explore what Romero's take on Resident Evil is going to be.
I would be very curious.
I would be very curious because you're talking about the man who invented this genre. I mean, he invented this version of the concept of zombies.
Right, exactly.
Taking it away from the zombies of voodoo culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it would have been very interesting to see what that would have been like. But this movie, the problem is that we're just getting little snippets of these characters, so you never really become endeared to. I mean, is there anyone like? I asked you this about halfway through the movie. I'll ask you again now. Who is the protagonist of this movie?
I think it's supposed to be Claire.
I think you're right. I think it is. We start with Claire because the movie starts with Claire coming into town, looking for her brother. We were both amazed when she found him instantly.
Immediately, where it was like, oh, I guess the movie's over.
She just went to his house and he was there.
Yeah. That's the plot of the second one, is she's looking for him.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Yeah. And then he goes off on a mission that separates them. But you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
So then it's, and you could, once again, maybe a better screenplay could have made this work, that they branch off into each being the protagonist of one half of the movie.
Sure.
But at that point, then it's very tough to also have Leon have a story in there, and Wesker.
Yes.
Because then there's also Wesker and Jill Valentine have their own thing.
Yes.
And then there's also this loose thread of Neil McDonough's Dr. Birkin that is kind of snaking through here too.
Yeah.
And just like, whoa, there's a lot going on. And so you just don't get enough of anybody. We were both also quite shocked at the portrayal of Leon in this movie.
Yeah, I had heard that was the take.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah,
so I wasn't like shocked when I first heard about it. I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Because they make him this like drunken fuck up.
He's a mess. He's like an absolute mess.
But for no explainable reason.
And he also doesn't have an arc that brings him at, like, he uses a rocket launcher at the end to kill the tyrant, but that's circumstantial at best.
That does feel like the end of his arc is just then he shot a rocket launcher.
Yeah, there's no like character motivation for him shooting a rocket to kill the tyrant at the end.
And there's no sense of like through the movie him learning that he's like, okay, I have a duty to this town and to protect these people. Because even that I would have been like, okay, well, it would be much easier to accept the beginning of the movie where he's a drunken mess if by the end of the movie you're like, oh, see, now he's becoming this heroic character.
Right, exactly.
Instead, he just kind of he sobers up and then does.
I think he sobers up just because there's no alcohol.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's not even a choice. You know what would have been a nice moment? Once again, a nice small moment is if at some point he found a bottle and almost takes a drink and then chooses not to.
Are you saying if the movie paid off what it set up earlier in the film.
I'm trying to. This movie has so little payoff of anything it sets up. Like, really, like we talked about Wesker, it's not even a setup. You almost instantly know he's crooked.
Yes.
Because he's getting secret text messages. By the way, a thing I like in concept is that this movie is set in 1998.
Yes, which is, I would probably do the same thing.
I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
They beat you over the head with the fact it's 1998. Everybody is constantly making references
to Blockbuster, to Palm Pilot, to...
Why don't you go to Blockbuster and rent a movie? Because that is where we rent movies.
What's an instant message?
Yeah. The idea that he pulls out his Palm Pilot, and you clearly see it says Palm Pilot.
Yeah.
It's very, it's just like, Jesus, how many more 1998 stuff can you ram into this movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been getting messages from...
I think it's revealed to be Ada. Right?
I guess that's the case.
I'm assuming that's who, because she shows up at the end.
Yeah, but like, who is she working for and what?
Well, that's what I don't understand is that... Because in the game, she works for Wesker.
Right.
Like, he's hiring her to get his dirty work done. Mm-hmm. And they seem to have taken the opposite approach here.
They have seemed to reverse that, but also this whole idea about, like, they're working... Because everything is controlled by Umbrella, right?
Sure.
Does that include the Stars team?
Indirectly, I guess. It's a company town.
Right.
So theoretically,
it's
yes.
It's not Umbrella sending Wesker these messages.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess apparently not. But maybe it is. Again,
a branch of them? Yeah.
Well, they don't explain it at all.
No, Umbrella in this movie is so, like so many things, it's so ill-defined. It's like, yeah, Umbrella's an evil corporation. They control the town. You're like, but yeah, like you talk about, what do they do?
But what are the consequences of that other than the zombie outbreak? Like,
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess the idea, because we get a couple of these exposition dumps from the same character. There's the tape that the guy sends,
yes,
and then later Leon talks to this guy who's locked up in a prison cell, and he gets this whole thing. I guess the idea is that they're a pharmaceutical company.
Yes,
because they do talk about, like, oh, you're naive enough to think that they're just making,
painkillers,
an aspirin or whatever. But so it seems like they've accidentally or on purpose made.
Well, that's what's not clear, because like in the games, it was intentional,
right?
And the zombie outbreak was them testing the T-virus to see how effective it would be before they sold it to whatever government wanted to purchase a bioweapon.
But here's the thing, but we never get, no one ever represents Umbrella to us.
No.
So we have no idea.
Like, I guess it's supposed to be Neil McDonough, but he's a scientist for the greater... The problem is the shareholders, not the scientists who work, And
I really don't understand as well.
Not at all.
Because he's not only... He's gone past the T-virus because when the town is being... That's another thing. The town then gets evacuated.
Yes.
Which doesn't really seem like something Umbrella would do if they were trying to test the T-virus.
Right, exactly. There'd be no warning.
Right, because the whole thing in the movie is that the zombie outbreak is happening and they're trying to get everybody out of the town.
Yes.
That they then plan to destroy.
Yes.
The whole place is rigged to blow, apparently.
I guess
they just hit a button and the whole town just detonates.
Just sinks into the earth, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it just implodes. Yeah. Once again, who could care?
They don't explain what happened.
No.
They just walk out of a tunnel.
The movie just doesn't care. I mean, that's the thing that's amazing about, for a guy who's like, I want to get to the core of the games. It's just like, but you're also not willing to do any work.
Yeah, you don't care what the game is trying to communicate, to the audience.
And I'm not going to say these are the deepest games, but there's something going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's absolutely a important message there as far as like anti-corporatism and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this thing is, like we were saying, this thing is just so vaguely anti-corporate. Yes. It's just like,
in the way that just movies tend to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a million
people hate giant corporations. They'll be the villains.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a hard thing to get people on board with.
Sure, but I mean, it's like a subplot of every Christmas movie.
That's true. They're always trying to buy Christmas.
Yeah. The joke is they've already done it.
Yeah, I know. There is something always funny to be about those, where it's just like, I think it's already pretty commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but now we're buying Santa's toy factory.
Yeah.
he was giving them up for free.
Yeah.
Now we're going to charge people.
It's a subscription service.
Santa.com.
Yeah.
So that's also because Neil McDonough's whole thing is once they sound the evacuation alarms, he's like, I have to get to my lab so I get the G virus that I have a bunch of vials of.
And they also don't explain, because they don't even explain that it's supposed to be a weapon, right?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe
what's the point of
that guy mentions it in the jail cell, but it's all he
like,
dumps a ton of information.
Why is he working on it?
I don't know. And he's got a wife and daughter, and he's like, oh, we better
get out.
But all of this connects back to that they were testing this in the orphanage that the Redfields grew up in.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they almost tested it on Claire.
But then they didn't.
Yeah.
Which, did they explain why?
No, it just didn't happen.
Well, Neil McDonough was like, you need to go or something. I can't remember what it was in the flashback at the beginning.
Oh, God. Once again. But does that make him heroic? Because then he turns into a big bad guy.
Like a full-on monologuing bad guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like a cackling, literal CGI monster.
Yes. It's not clear.
Yeah, because and once again, Wesker gets this message that like, hey, they're going to destroy the town. I guess that was the setup to them. He does get a message that says they're going to destroy the town at 6 a.m.
Oh, right. Yes.
So I guess that was the thing, because the movie keeps cutting to what time it is.
Right. Yes.
But it's so just like, hey, remember that text message?
I'd forgotten that it happened.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that the movie doesn't do a good job of indicating what is important to hold on to.
I was barely processing that it was showing the time in the film. You pointed it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it has been doing that. And maybe that's on me. I don't know.
I mean, I think, but I honestly think it is a lot on the movie for not. It doesn't do a good job once again of indicating what you should be paying attention to.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Then that's a big problem here.
Yeah.
So they, once again, but you don't know what the hell any of that means until they get to Spencer Mansion.
Yes.
And Wesker betrays everyone.
I guess. I don't fully understand.
What do they need to get out of Spencer Mansion?
Well, a team went there to investigate, right?
Yeah, they talk about the
Bravo team or something.
Their official mission is to go rescue Bravo team.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Which I don't think there's any indication that Bravo team was there, right? Because when they go there, they just find zombies.
Right.
None of them are dressed as Bravo.
Oh, no. They do find the one guy whose throat has been ripped out, because that guy, they're like, oh, no.
That guy's from Bravo team?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah, okay. They say his name, and they're like, hold on, buddy, not you.
Why didn't they show a photo of him beforehand so that when we knew that it was him, it was like, oh, that's Bravo
if you had
Bravo
put up
team.
On a screen, like, these are the 6 men that went missing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what a lot of movies would do.
Again, if this was just going over Resident Evil 1, then they would have more time to do that kind of
thing.
Yeah,
they would have, Yeah.
No. I mean, that ultimately is the main problem.
Here I've got, once again, thank you to Wikipedia for... Wesker is... They go there, but Wesker is there to enter the tunnels.
Yes, to find the lab.
To find the G virus. And that's how he betrays them, is he just goes into the tunnels.
Yes.
That's not that much of a betrayal,
not really. And he didn't even have to reveal anything to Jill. He could just be like, I got to investigate, Maybe there's more Bravo team down here. Whatever. But he's like, I have to betray you now. I'm going to go down this hallway, I guess.
And it is, and I mean, and once again, these are all good actors. You've got Hannah John Kamen as Jill Valentine, really trying to play it like, no, you bastard.
Yeah, but it's like, but he didn't really do anything.
And even the way he's playing is like, Dan, you know how it is.
Yeah, I'm just following orders.
Sorry about this. Yeah. Which, once again, is not remotely Wesker from the games.
No.
And also, even beyond the fidelity of the games, is not an interesting villain.
No.
Just a guy who's
you don't really get him. You don't really get the idea that he is a villain.
No,
he never really comes off as a villain.
No.
Except for when he shoots both of what's her face's parents.
Cher. But even both of them pulled guns on him, and he shot in self-defense.
Yeah,
and then he expressly says he wasn't going to shoot a child.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You're just
so like, how is he going to come back as a villain? Because he's not really.
Because then, the post credit or the mid credit scene sets up. Yeah, he's going to be the new big bad, and he gets his sunglasses like in the game.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but this guy doesn't seem like he's going to turn into anything remotely like that guy.
No, and again, like,
he's no threat.
Ada is the one who's morally ambiguous.
Right.
Like, can you trust her? Can you not trust her? Wesker is the devil.
Well, I mean, Wesker is
you know for a fact he's evil. You just know that.
The ultimate big bad.
Like once he's revealed in the first game to be evil, he's just full on mustache twirling evil villain.
He's the Blofeld of right. He is the
exactly
guy at the top of it all.
Yes.
You know, he's your Doctor Doom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could add some sympathetic backstory from him if you want, but
if you want
to. But at the point that we get to him, he should be pure evil and driven only by completing whatever mission he had. Yeah. Instead, here, and a weird physical casting choice. They cast Tom Hopper, who's a good actor, but he's like a big, beefy really army guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've only ever seen him play like cool, badass, punch dudes in the face kind of stuff, which he's not even doing here.
No. Yeah, you don't. When you look at him, you don't think this is a man I'm not sure I can trust.
No,
this is a scheming villain.
Well, there's no portrayal of this dude's a thinker.
No,
this guy's got a plan.
No,
he is just getting text messages and going, okay,
I guess I will follow this.
Sure,
yeah, I guess I'll betray my team. I don't know.
So Claire ends up at the police station with Leon and Chief Irons.
Yes,
who once again
is still alive.
We need to talk about Chief Irons' one extended action sequence that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, the Children of Men sequence.
Yeah, because there's a scene where he's basically just like, hey,
I gotta go.
Yeah, bye everybody. This is bad news. And he's like packing his stuff up, and he drives out, and then there's some people outside on the streets who start shooting at him. And
he's trying to get out of the city, and there's like a choke point, right?
Yeah.
Because they're definitely going for. I mean, I was thinking Children of Men, but yeah, the military is not letting people leave the city.
Right.
Obviously, it's a quarantine zone. It makes sense.
Yeah, but the movie is also super because they make everything that's on Umbrella, right?
Yes.
So the idea of like, what's the government response to this is really weird.
Yeah. Was that the government? It's
I don't
not
know,
explained.
Because they keep everyone in shadow and we just see shots coming at him. And it tries to do the Children of Men thing where there's action in the car as he's backing out and people are smashing into it.
And it's like all one shot. Yeah,
except for it's
bad.
He's no Alfonso Cuarón, which is that a genius, and that movie's a masterpiece.
Oh, it's so good. I need to rewatch that.
It's one of my favorite movies. I love Children of Men.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like there are moments in this movie where this director tries to do some stuff, because there's also the Chris action scene where you just see all the action being lit up by the
muzzle
flare of his pistol.
Yeah.
But you're just like, what else? It's something done better in other movies, and it doesn't add to anything.
It doesn't serve anything. It doesn't, further story or character or anything.
That's the big problem with this. Is you're just like, okay, you had an idea for a scene. And we talk about Chris Redfield
is maybe the lead. Well, who's less defined, Chris or Claire?
Claire makes less sense because she's got more contradictory things.
Yeah.
Chris is just gone for long stretches of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. He's just not really in this film.
Claire is in the movie, but you're just like, wait, what? Is she? They want her to be. I mean, there's even the point where Neil McDonough talks about she's the smart one.
Yes.
But you don't really get to see that anywhere.
No.
And then there are other points where they want her to be a huge badass, and you're like, well, so they're both like badasses, which they are in the game, of course, too.
Yeah.
But then you're like, but wait, did she know there were going to be zombies here? Why is she so ready to kick ass?
Exactly. She's so not fazed by it. And maybe it's because of like her experience at the orphanage where they were testing, but again, they don't show anything with that. So like,
right. That's the thing about, cause there's the scene where the guy turns into a zombie in the jail cell and comes after Leon, and Leon is freaked out, not sure what to do. And she just comes with a shotgun and is like, get it together. Fuck these things,
Yeah. And you're like, what do you mean fuck these things?
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah.
What is happening?
A character, and Donald Logue also goes back and forth between it seems like what he knows and what he doesn't know. How much is he in on stuff?
Yeah.
Like he knew enough to be like, I better get the fuck out of town.
Sure.
But then later on he's like, hey, what's going on? And then he's like with them and heroic all of a sudden. You're like, well, wait a minute. Are you a stooge of the corporation? Are you actually
a coward? Are you a hero? Like, what are you?
Really ill-defined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just once again, I think every character is baseline ill-defined.
Yes.
And then some more so than others.
Yeah.
And Wesker and Claire both make no sense.
They don't make any sense, yeah.
Because, I mean, so it all leads to them back at the orphanage, which you knew had to happen because otherwise Weiss set that up.
Yeah.
But the orphanage is also, once again, where they're doing the testing, so that's where Birkin's lab is, and that's Neil McDonough.
Yes.
Who shows up there with his family. Brilliant.
Yeah, great decision.
And then he pulls a gun on Wesker.
Yes. Did this scene remind you of that SNL skit?
The Lonely Island one?
Yeah.
Where they just keep shooting each other?
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when this scene happened.
Yeah, that they just...
people just kept getting shot.
What's really funny is that McDonough tries to, like, quick pull the gun and turn around and he gets shot by Wesker. And then his wife does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, the little girl has a gun on him, and you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
He failed, but maybe I could.
Yeah, maybe if I did the exact same thing,
and then,
I might succeed.
To continue to add to Wesker making no sense as a character, he betrayed everyone. And even when Jill and Chris meet back up, Jill's like, forget Wesker, he betrayed us. Once again, Hannah John Kamen, a good actress, who is acting emotions that are just not present in the story,
just
though.
You're
like, she's trying to sell you
by
on
anything.
This. He betrayed us. And you're like, I guess
he did. I don't know. He walked down a hallway.
But then she shoots him.
Yes.
And then she's like, hey, you're going to live.
Yeah, you're going to make it.
And he's like, no, I'm not. And here's how you're going to get out of here. I'm sorry. It's like, what the fuck is this character? And he tells them about, and I mean, we did talk about, this does feel like something out of the games, is a secret underground train that Umbrella would have.
Absolutely.
To escape the exploding town.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it'd be fun. I would not care if that was that's in the film.
No, I would like that.
A little silly. I love that.
But it's the kind of silly the games can be.
Yeah, yes.
I think that's the thing about this is, like, I wish the movie would not even be silly, but be more heightened in places or have more fun. Because there are moments, like they do the thing where they play sort of juxtapositional songs in scenes.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, that's going for some level of humor, but
it's not funny.
It's not funny, and then it's inconsistent with other parts of the movie.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So I'm like, what is the tone here?
Yeah.
I mean, I think really at the end of the day, they needed a better writer. This guy writing and directing was a mistake.
Correct. And I mean, probably shouldn't have directed it.
Probably shouldn't have directed, but I would say that he directs it okay.
I at no point was I buying that anyone was involved in a like town-wide outbreak.
I mean, that's
you know what I mean?
I will say that a big problem there, and that's where I'm willing to give him a little bit of leeway on. They did not have the budget to do that, because you see what, aside from the main characters, maybe 4 or 5 other even townspeople.
Well, I just mean like in the performances.
Oh,
you know
sure,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like the weight of that, you know, the uncertainty of that.
There's a lot of stuff where it is like, shouldn't these people be more freaked out than they are? Shouldn't they be more desperate than they are?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of people just being like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's not on the actors. That's on the director being like, by the way, like, you are, like, imagine you're in Chernobyl and you're running for your lives.
Well, and even beyond the thing about that would be good for performance or believability, it also dampers the energy of the movie.
Yes, exactly.
You want this propulsive sense of, oh my God, this is happening. There's catastrophe. There's danger around every corner.
Yes. You have to do whatever you can just to survive.
Yeah, and get the sense about, that's another thing too, is like, if you had a Claire who's more like, I don't normally use guns, but now I have to, or a Leon who's like, I'm kind of a shit cop in a town where it doesn't matter, but now I'm forced to actually like knuckle up and get down, into some action.
Yes.
That would be one thing. Or even the idea that Chris and Jill are like, holy shit, we're working for the bad guys.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no real sense of that.
None of that. Yeah. None of that exists.
Yeah. And even, once again, I don't know what the deal with McDonough is, because, of course, after he gets shot, he injects himself with the G virus.
Yes.
which is a stupid thing to do, and he turns into. I felt so bad for him in that horrible makeup get up that he's in.
Yeah.
Eventually, he just turns into full CG, but for a while, he's just in
like
a rubber.
Half, yeah.
He looks like he's in like a Stuart Gordon movie, like Reanimator from Beyond. And you're just like, God, and at that point, he's just a different character too, because now
he is completely changed. What his character is.
I am evil. You Redfield. He's closer to what I would want Wesker to be, actually.
Actually, yes, absolutely, yes.
Where he's cackling and chasing everyone around.
Yes.
And then eventually they all end up on the train.
Yeah, and then he's on the train when he's this full CG monster and blah, 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 blah.
Long story short, Leon shoots him with a rocket launcher.
Which, I mean, it's... What's great about that is that in the Resident Evil games, rocket launchers one-hit kill to any enemy, including bosses. So that's
actually. I will say they're pretty consistent about playing it like the games, where you have to like shoot zombies with handguns a lot, and then when the rocket launcher comes out, it takes him. You also do get Chris aiming for the weak spots, which is all the eyeballs on the thing.
On the
so I mean, once again, that's the kind of stuff where I'm going like, oh, you have played the games. I believe you.
Right, exactly. You're just not a screenwriter.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like you haven't translated this into a movie.
You just don't understand story structure.
Yeah. Has this guy made another movie since
Let's find out.
Everyone, has he made anything since 2021? The answer is he made at least a segment for one of the... Do you know the VHS franchise? They're horror anthology movies where the whole idea is that these tapes contain all these different horror stories.
Okay, gotcha.
So he directed a segment in that, but with a bunch of other horror directors.
But
so
that's kind of...
That's been the last thing he directed, and then he's attached to a bunch of stuff, but who knows what that means.
Right, yeah.
People have stuff on their IMDb all the time that never comes into existence. So at least at the moment, he has not made another feature film. And maybe he needs to be stopped. Well, this one... oh yeah, and so then at the end of the movie just kind of stops.
Yeah, they're walking out of a tunnel, and then it just stops.
We get the computer report that is obviously like whatever the umbrella thing, where it's like outbreak. That was the other thing too. It's like outbreak contained. You're like, well, what were you trying to do with the outbreak?
Right. Again, we don't know the motivations of why it happened.
And then it says civilian survivors 0, but we see all the main characters walk out of the tunnel. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and then it ends. It like they are not even fully visible from the
Resident Evil.
And it's like, oh wow, they could not wait to end this film.
No, it really does scream of limited budget. I don't think anyone believes in this movie.
Yeah.
The resources aren't there. And then, mid-credits scene, Wesker wakes up in a body bag. There's an Asian woman. We know who it is.
Yeah.
And and he's like, oh, my eyes hurt. She gives him sunglasses. And then, of course, he's like, I never asked you your name. She's like, it's Ada Wong.
And again, if you haven't played the games, you're like, okay.
Yeah. I will say I do going to a lot of Marvel movies with people who aren't necessarily confident. I'm used to the no, what does that mean?
Why did that happen?
Yeah, who was that? Am I supposed to think that matters? That's Thanos. There was a lot of that at the first Avengers when he just turns around. It's like, that's Thanos. He's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
And now we live in a world where everyone knows who Thanos is, and
it's a strange world.
The fact that my mom knows who Thanos is like one of the craziest things to me. And so I guess that he was going to become. Once again, I just don't see anything that would lead to him remotely being like the Wesker they're trying to set up.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's got his sunglasses now.
Okay.
Am I right? We talked about a lot of the movie. Just feels like they're like, "Hey, nerds." Right.
Yeah.
And just like that. It's especially now.
Oh, it's definitely like people learning the wrong lesson from Marvel movies. Oh, you know what I mean? All the references. None of the character.
This thing screams of an attempt to do an MCU movie.
Yes.
Right? It's just everything has to be this now.
Yeah.
It is driving me insane that everything I hear now is just like the first in what could be a shared unit.
It's kind of going away, right? Is it?
I don't know. I just was reading, and I'm excited to see this movie that they announced. Taika Waititi is going to be directing a Judge Dredd movie.
Oh, okay.
Which is awesome. But then they said, and the studio plans for this to be the first step in a shared universe of Dredd films that can have shows and be set in Mega City 1. And you're just like, no, don't. Just make a Dredd movie.
Just make it. And make it good, please.
Yeah,
and then if it's good, we'll see.
But yeah, I just keep hearing stuff where it's like this could kick off an entire universe of these things, and really, honestly, nobody's really done it since Marvel.
Not really.
I think DC is on the right track now.
Yeah.
And Star Wars.
Star Wars is it's in a weird place.
Star Wars has made a lot of good stuff, but they still haven't convinced me on it's a universe.
Right.
They're just individually, these are good stories set.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe just keep doing that. It's really weird to me, this whole.
Yeah, just do that for a while.
Yeah.
Like just keep doing that. Why not?
It's
not everything needs to be a trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Amazon owning James Bond now, they want that to become,
of course,
a universe where they can have a Felix Leiter show, and
I don't want that.
I mean,
I just want James Bond movies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that at least at the moment they're just starting with.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve directing James Bond. So
right.
That's a good choice.
I mean, he's a great director.
Yeah.
I do want him to be able to do property genres or
sure
not
original.
Yeah, just original stuff,
I think Bond was a big one for him, listening to him talk, though, where it's like
Bond's a big one for a lot of people.
He couldn't not take that.
Yeah.
That meant, listening to him talk, that means everything to him.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about how this movie did at the box office. Okay. What did I say? It cost $25 million.
Yeah, you did say that.
And this is another example of it. Technically, it made worldwide 41.9.
So almost double, but that's
not great.
Real bad.
That's pretty bad. Let's see.
Worldwide, that's terrible.
Where did that land it? In the top 200, Lissman.
Did it get into the top 200? I'm sure it did.
Yeah, it did. It
okay.
did. Yeah. Let me give you the top 5.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
Here are the top 5 of 2021. And this is a weird time because we're still. We're just coming out of COVID at this point, or at least coming out of there being a vaccine. So that's why there's going to be some weird stuff in here.
Okay.
Number 1, though, Spider-Man: No Way Home made just a skosh under $2 billion.
Yeah, that tracks.
But then you have at number 2 is The Battle at Lake Changjin.
What is that?
It's a Chinese film.
Okay.
But that's just because I think the theaters open there sooner.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Hi Mom is also a Chinese film at number 3.
Okay.
Weird. Then you get to No Time to Die, James Bond.
Yeah.
And then you get to F9, The Fast Saga.
Right.
But it's weird. There's a lot of Chinese movies in the top 200 worldwide because, like I said, I think there's just a different, and they have a different relationship with going to movies than we do as a culture.
Yeah.
Movie theaters are more popular there than they are here. Anyway, where do you think Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon landed? Once again, keeping in mind this is also a weird year.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it did better than it would normally do.
I think you're right.
95.
Ooh, a little bit better than that. 74.
Okay. Yeah.
It split right between Spirit Untamed,
whatever that is.
That's an animated horse movie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
And Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay.
That was the attempt to make a Saw movie that wasn't really a Saw movie, but still kind of was a Saw movie. I saw it.
Yeah, they're trying to. You saw?
I saw it. It's not great.
Yeah, it was the expanded universification of the Saw franchise.
It was before they immediately ran back to Jigsaw, and very quickly. I think the next one was even called Jigsaw.
Yes.
It's just like no, shut up, never mind.
No, he's definitely in this one, guys.
Yeah,
Don't
never
worry.
mind. Even though he died, I really want to do a Saw season at some point on here, simply because the time, because at a certain point Jigsaw dies in movie 3 or 4 maybe.
Yes.
So then they have to just keep making sequels that are set before that. Little did you know, before that he actually did this.
Oh, that's so lazy.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. The timeline of that franchise is movie 10 actually takes place before movie 5 because
Can you just do the thing that there's somebody who is doing?
I think they tried to do that and people didn't like it. So it is one of those things where I'm just I love the loopy time, the
Fast and the Furious style.
Yeah, Fast and Furious is the ultimate example. Well, no, actually, I think Saw has them beat in terms of being convoluted.
Yeah.
But Fast and Furious was the first to do that, where it's there are 4 movies that take place before movie 3,
And the best part is that Han doesn't even die in in
the
third one.
Then they finally catch up to that, and they go, "Oh fuck it, we just
still
can't
want him back."
Yeah, we can't. We got to keep him alive. He's way too popular.
Yeah. So they didn't need to do it in the first place.
I don't know. Did you see 10?
I did not see 10.
Okay. Spoilers if you haven't seen 10. They also just bring Gal Gadot back.
Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, I figured they were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No explanation.
No.
I mean, they will, I'm sure, in the next movie explain. But it is just like, yep. Death has no meaning in this universe.
Nope.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
In that physics have no meaning in that universe.
Exactly.
Why should death?
They were in space in a car.
Oh, and it
Who
ruled.
cares?
It ruled. All right, let's do some highs and lows before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. We'll start with a low because I always try to start with closer to where we land. I wouldn't go 1 star.
It's usually worse than we you know what I mean? It's usually more negative than we are. I guess we have been pretty negative. But
have been. I mean, the movie is watchable. It's just it doesn't land anything.
It's not. It. I don't know. It didn't drag per se. It just didn't. It just didn't have.
Okay. This comes to us from Alan Guidon.
Thanks, Alan.
Who titles his review "An Insult to Resident Evil Fans."
Okay.
While video game adaptations are known for missing the mark on the big screen, this movie is one of the reasons people lose faith in these adaptations. I've been a huge Resident Evil fan since I was a kid. The games, the stories, the lore, everything about it for me was exciting and fun, and while the original Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich didn't really follow much of the video game storylines, they were a fun addition to the Resident Evil universe. However, now we have Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I can't remember the last time I watched a film in a franchise so bad that it actually annoyed me. Firstly, the casting choices were absolute disasters. Not one of the actors was convincing as their video game counterpart. They didn't strike any resemblance, nor did they match the personalities. If you're finding it hard to agree, just look at the casting choice for Leon. He went from a stoic, reliable agent in the games to a bumbling idiot who, if you were not told it was Leon in the movies, you would not know who his character was. Whether this was a legitimate casting choice, a budget issue, or just outright insanity, the casting seems to be an ensemble of B-movie actors with no depth. How hard can it be to put time and effort into the right castings? So for now, we still await a worthy movie adaptation of the Resident Evil universe. 1 out of 10 stars.
I think you're complaining about the wrong thing, friend.
I think so, too. All of these people could have played these parts in something better.
Yes, but the character wasn't there on the page.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the actor to latch onto.
No, it really is. Okay, well, here's somebody who has almost the exact opposite opinion.
Great. Okay.
This comes to us from Carl Pleasant 81. The best and truest version of the story is the title.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it didn't have the budget like the others, but it's the purest nod to the original game and what we as fans of the series actually wanted first time around. For me, it was perfect and better than the Mila films. The script is good, and they really tried to create some of the memorable scenes from the game. The zombies are plentiful once the action starts, and the gore is on point. The game was survival horror with puzzles and mystery being a big part of the plot. No other film includes this element until now. The lore of the game has been put first, and frankly, that's a target frequently missed in the game-movie crossover. 10 out of 10 stars.
It is more Resident Evil than the Mila films.
Agreed, but it's still very far away from
script. There's no script.
Yeah,
so,
it's still so far away from being the Resident Evil movie.
It might as well just be a Resident Evil museum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, remember this bit? Hey, remember this scene?
I mean, honestly, and I know there are more probably than I've even seen. We were fans of the animated movies when they made those. Were way better.
Yeah.
I mean, those are silly, but they're
very
way better.
I mean,
they're pretty entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. They're entertaining.
Yeah,
that's really all you can ask for.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
I would say it's not worthy of your time.
No. I mean, yeah, if you played the games, it might just make you mad. I mean, like
it's kind of in the example of For No One, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, because the references are all there if you're a fan, but they also drop the ball on so much stuff that it kind of makes you.
You know, I was rooting for it. I
remember when it first came out and they were talking about it being more like faithful. I'm like,
and the trailer,
this could be it.
And the trailers, I was going like, okay,
there's something here.
But
yeah.
Then,
yeah, and then I heard it was just not very good. So,
no, it's not. It's not great. All right. Well, next week on the show, Brendan Jones will be back with me to talk about the Uncharted film.
Oh, okay.
Simply titled Uncharted, which is all right, pretty good.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. You know.
Not my favorite video game movie, you know.
But you know, it's certainly a better attempt than a lot.
Way better than this one.
It's in the upper tier of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a low bar, but yeah,
it is. I mean, we're still and as this season continues to go along, and there's still more.
Yeah.
They are
in aggregate getting better.
Yes,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, they're getting better.
Yes. And
there's some good ones. I still don't know if we've seen a great one.
No. No, I don't think we have.
Not as a movie, certainly. TV,
yes,
has done much better with them.
Yeah, yes.
And that may be we always come back to this point because it's like that may be the end of the story fully, right?
Is that it should be TV.
And more of them are getting adapted like that. Since we last talked about it on the episode, I was telling you Assassin's Creed is now going to become a TV show.
Yeah.
Mass Effect is going to be a TV show. God of War is going to be a TV show.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
That I think all of those will benefit better from that. I'm not going to say those are like instantly those will all be good, but all of them have a better shot at being
they'll
good.
Have more room to breathe.
Absolutely.
You know, as narratives. Yeah.
I always talk about, and this has become a catchphrase I feel like this season. You want more Fallout, less Halo.
Yes.
That's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Those to me are the real highs and lows of adapting it as a
TV show. Yeah.
Halo looked very pretty.
Sure. Yeah.
It just didn't quite work. All right, so that'll be next week on the show. Of course, if you want to hear more from us on the Punch Up Entertainment Network, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/punchupenth. That's punchupent. You get cool exclusive bonus content, including the entire archive of Lissman and I's old podcast, The Action Shelf. You can listen back to all of our meandering thoughts on very weird old action movies.
Yeah, trying to fix them, trying to make them better.
Maybe, if just possibly some character eked into this thing. But it is Chuck Norris. He can only do so much.
We got Dolph. Okay.
Yeah, it's Dolph, man. We did do, actually, if you are going to go back, we did do a Dolph video game movie. Do you remember that zombie movie we did with Dolph?
Zombie video game movie with Dolph.
I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it was based on a video game.
Was it Left 4 Dead?
It was something like that.
Was it? What's the one in the mall? I can't remember.
No, it's not that.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising, because that's obviously very.
Was it?
Was it? Really this is what people are not. Dead Trigger.
That died. You're saying it. That does not ring a bell.
As a movie or a game.
Yeah.
Dead Trigger.
Yeah.
It was based on a video game.
I believe
we watched it. And Dolph was in it.
Yeah.
That's a very real movie.
Not ringing.
You can go
any
hear
bells.
us. You can go hear us talk about. Yeah.
You can go listen to it so that you have more knowledge about that episode than even I have.
Can't say I remember the movie well. And look, I couldn't remember the name of it, but I did remember that we watched it.
Okay.
And that it was based on a video. And I think at the time we were both like, I've never heard of this game.
Yeah.
But of course, you can also hear Michael every week on the Material Components podcast.
Hey, yeah.
Here on the Punch Up Entertainment channel, which I think a new season is either starting soon or has started by the time this is coming out. I don't know. But head over there. Also, make sure you find us on YouTube, youtube.com/@punchupentertainment. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We got a lot of cool exclusive stuff over there. But I think that's going to do it. Until next week, the case file. It's closed.